To the election, some people will make plans to vote from home or overseas. So Janet is asking, when you vote in person, you receive an I voted sticker. Why then, when you vote absentee, do you not receive a sticker in your envelope? Well, here's Victor Puente with the answer to that good question.
You can still get one of those stickers, but you might have to ask for it. I checked with the Secretary of State's office. They operate the online absentee voting portal. They told me those stickers are distributed, though, by the local county clerk's offices. Those local clerk's offices also send out the absentee ballots in their county. Fayette County Clerk Susan Lamb tells me they will include an I voted sticker with absentee ballots if requested. The Jessamine County Clerk's office told me the same thing. They did say you needed to call them after filling out that online form, since there isn't a place to put that information. And if you're in Scott County, you don't have to worry about it. A worker with the clerk's office told me they automatically put them in with the instructions whenever someone requests an absentee ballot. So you can check with your clerk's office if you're not in those counties to see if they do the same thing. The portal to request an absentee ballot opens September 21st, stays open until October 22nd. If you have a good question, just email us. Goodquestion@wkyt.com. I'll see you on WKYT Mornings.